Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi here in the 9 News Weather Center, and get ready, the heat is on its way. It's going to be here for a while. We're going to be talking about temperatures 90 plus, probably starting tomorrow. Could get there today, but probably starting tomorrow, lasting through the weekend and into early next week. And only a slight chance for thunderstorms, though today probably the best chance for storms over the next 4 to 5 days or so, at least here in Denver and throughout much of eastern parts of the state. So let's start things off by taking a look at those overall headlines. Isolated storms for today. As I mentioned, best chance will be along the Palmer Divide and points south and east of downtown Denver. But I think the big story, what most of us will be talking about or sweating about over the next few days, will be our big heat wave that starts today. Temperatures near 90 degrees today, although those clouds are being a little pesky. I'm getting slightly nervous about my forecast, but I still think it'll hold. I'll get into more detail in just a second. And it is a mostly dry forecast ahead, though again, we do have that chance for storms today. HD Doppler radar not showing much. What you're looking at there is a lot of Virgo, with the exception of some of those isolated storms on the west side of the San Luis Valley. That would be not too far away from Pagosa Springs, where we're seeing a few of those storms starting to develop. We'll see some of those storms develop into southern Colorado primarily over the course of the next few hours. And as we get through the forecast here and over the next few hours, again, we'll be talking about some of those isolated storms, but where we do see those storms develop, I think what we'll see primarily will be a wind threat, so strong winds. Most of these showers and storms, let's get a little geeky about it since we got some time here. The main storm mode today will be these high-based showers and storms. And what I mean by that is that a lot of the rain that would normally come from a storm will evaporate before it hits the ground. And as a result of that, what you get are those gusty outflow winds from those storms. And so you kind of get some breeze, you get a few raindrops in your windshield, and then you're done with the storm. Maybe some lightning strikes as well. So just keep that in mind, that we're going to be looking at likely high-based showers and storms today. Our Futurecast model here is trying to pop up some of those shower storms somewhere between about 3 and 5 o'clock. And then by about 5:30, 6 o'clock, I think that shower and storm chance pretty much dissipates altogether. And then tomorrow we'll wake up to sunny skies, and we'll be also talking about temperatures starting off in a very mild note. Now, here in Denver, not all that warm yet. Those clouds have been, as I mentioned, a little pesky. Full transparency, I'm slightly rethinking my high temperature for today, but I think we'll stick with a high of 88 for today. But right now, 71 here in Denver. You probably didn't need to know all that. Southeast Colorado, low to mid 80s for us. Mountains, 60s and 70s, with the exception of our friends out on the western slope. A beautiful 85 degrees out in Grand Junction, but it is going to be cooking today. Look at that, 95 in Grand Junction for your day today. By the way, Denver in the Front Range, that is a sign of what's to come. That warmer, really warm weather in Moab and Grand Junction, that's going to be scooting east as we get later on through the day. Highs for both Fort Collins and Greeley probably get up to about 90. And here in town, again, 88. I'm, again, slightly nervous about that. Southeast Colorado, some low to mid-90s out that way. Hey, if you want to have an outdoor beverage of choice tonight, looks like a fantastic, wonderful night for that, with low temperatures dropping into the upper 50s. I know I will be out on our patio furniture in my backyard with my dog, and maybe playing a little fetch, and maybe having a beverage of choice this evening with lovely temperatures in the upper 50s. And gosh, summer nights, they're the best, aren't they? And we're getting going on those here on this Thursday night with a mild overnight expected. And then as we get into your day tomorrow, just some isolated storms popping on up. Most of us stay dry, but we mostly stay dry tomorrow. The story, again, the heat, with temperatures probably rising on up into the low 90s for us, with a southwest wind at 5 to 15 miles an hour. It's not going to be hair dryer weather. We're talking about low 90s, but light winds, so not like back last month when we had all that wind accompanying the heat. It will be calm and tranquil, and nice sunrise, 5:30 a.m. It's so early this time of year. And by the way, we are now officially 12 days away from the summer solstice on June the 21st, which means we're just about peak sun levels. We're averaging about 15, or we're a little over 15 hours a day of sunlight right now. Forecast highs for your day tomorrow, a little low to mid 90s for us on the eastern plains, mountains 70s and 80s, 102 in Moab. So again, absolutely cooking out that way. And those temperatures stay on the warm side as we head over the next little while. So this is not just a one-off in terms of your day tomorrow. This is the start of a prolonged hot and dry stretch, which means we'll be talking about several 90-plus 90-degree days in the next little while. We've already hit 90 degrees. That was back in late April. You might remember that when we had that really high fire danger day, those really strong winds. We got to 90 that day. We will be certainly talking about several more days in the 90-plus territory over the next little while. We're going to be not quite at record levels. Our record for Saturday is 100. And by the way, you didn't need to know this, but I'll share it with you anyways. Saturday is June the 11th, and back in 2013, our earliest 100-degree temperature on record in Denver took place on June the 11th of 2013. So that's our record high for Saturday. We probably won't get to 100, but we'll be not too far away from that. 95 for Sunday, 96 for Monday. Very, very hot. Outside chance that we get to 100 one of those days, which would make it remarkably early. Then temperatures briefly crash down, and then we warm back up again into the mid part of next week. Current drought conditions, some improvement. Denver no longer officially in a drought as of today, as of this week's drought monitor updates. So some good news on that front as well. So a bunch of good things to kind of share with you, but the primary takeaways. And one more look there at the HD Doppler radar showing some of that. What I meant to show you once again is the 7-day forecast with those temperatures back into the mid 90s as we get through the weekend. So it's hot and dry with maybe an isolated storm today. Then it's hot and dry, hot and dry, hot and dry. Then some storms early next week. Then back to your regularly scheduled hot and dry. So welcome to summer here, folks. It is summer in Colorado. I'll have another update coming up at 9 News at noon. And if you're sick and tired of me, Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin is in at 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 on the 9 News family of networks tonight. I should say, actually, Kathy's in at 4 and 5. I'm mixing this all up. Danielle, my colleague meteorologist Danielle Grant, is in at 6, as well as at 9 and 10 on the 9 News family of networks this evening. Once again, I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your day.